The attacks on Bernie Sanders have begun, with Donald Trump making a direct attack on the Democratic Socialist senator from Vermont. Let's take a listen to the clip from a Trump rally in Virginia.
I watched last night with Bernie Sanders and Hillary and the other three guys that nobody, the other three guys that nobody even knows who the hell they are. Who are they? But I watched last night as Hillary and Bernie Sanders, they just couldn't give things away fast enough. And they're giving them to illegal immigrants. They want health care for illegal immigrants. They want driver's license for illegal immigrants. I watched Hillary last night with, we're going to give this, we're going to give that, we're going to give that. The poor woman, she's got to give everything away because this maniac that was standing on her right is giving everything away, so she's following. That's what's happening. This socialist-slash-communist, okay? Nobody wants to say it. She's standing there listening to this guy. He's going to tax you people at 90%. He's going to take everything. And nobody's heard the term communist. But you know what? I call him a socialist-slash-communist, okay? Because that's what he is. So then you see her stand up. Now it's her turn. And she goes, oh, I'm going to do that too. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to do that. Because you got to win. Because she's not doing so well. And in a head-to-head poll, they just did that. I beat her by 5 or 6 points. I love it. I love it.
Oh, Donald Trump has never, I can guarantee, Donald Trump has never looked up the word socialism. And he's almost certainly never looked up the words democratic socialism, which is actually what Bernie Sanders stands for. You know, Scandinavia, where they actually do have capitalism, but socialism as well, and not just the socialism for the rich that we have here in America. They actually can afford free college, free health care, pay on taxes, on higher taxes on people, but they actually get something for it. Imagine that, right? When it comes to, oh, they're going to take everything that you have. They're going to take 90%. He's going to take everything from you. No, dude. The only thing that Bernie Sanders actually wants to take is the fruit of everyone's hard labor that the 1%, like Donald Trump, stole from them and actually give it back to them in the form of programs that actually help improve the quality of their life. That's what. Now, obviously, Donald Trump is coming out swinging because he's scared. He's scared that his socialism, he loves his socialism, by the way, and that's what we do. We give socialism to the rich in America now. He likes the fact that he can use bankruptcy laws to go bankrupt 4 times and screw his investors and wouldn't hesitate to screw over taxpayers for his benefit. He's afraid that under Bernie Sanders, he can't do that anymore. He's a direct threat to Donald Trump's massive wealth. Trump's tax plan, by the way, Trump tries to view himself as a populist. He's painting himself as a populist, right? Trump's tax plan, speaking of screwing people over, would actually massively benefit Donald fucking Trump, according to his own tax plan. That does include some populist elements, don't get me wrong. He says, let's cut income taxes to 0 for those who make below $25,000 a year and raise it on hedge fund guys. Just the hedge fund guys. Hey, I actually kind of like those two things. Let's be honest, right? But it would also include massive tax breaks for Donald Trump. He also wants to eliminate, of course, the estate tax, which only benefits, once again, Donald Trump's family, and only a couple of hundred families around the entire United States, while lowering his tax rate to 25%. Now, Trump's worth $10 billion. And he's proud of it. He's like, I'm worth $10 billion. I'm worth $10 billion. Well, why does he need a tax cut? Why does he need to lower his own tax rate? I mean, if lowering tax rates creates jobs, well, then, he's already created a ton of jobs. Why does he need it lower? Does he need to create, does he actually want to create more jobs? Is he actually planning on it and saying, oh, if I just had 10% more money added on to the top of that $10 billion, I could create more jobs? No, that's wrong. Why does he want to lower his tax rate then? I mean, not only is he worth supposedly $10 billion, But he's also, I'm assuming, has money overseas that he wants to bring back tax-free. In fact, that's one of his ideas, is to also bring back and repatriate tons of money tax-free. Remember the last time that happened? It didn't really do a whole lot. Corporations just brought back all their money. Didn't really do much other than give themselves bonuses and do stock buybacks for their own companies. And then what? Then they started stashing it overseas again, waiting for another holiday, the next holiday, so they can cash in. It's almost like a casino, which makes sense because Donald Trump owns casinos. All right. Now, as far as corporate taxes, well, he wants to slash corporate taxes down to 10%. Sanders, however, on the other hand, Sanders doesn't actually want to take everybody's money. You know the people that are in the crowd that he talked to? He wants to tax you at 90%. No, he doesn't. That crowd is made of white, working class, middle class Americans. Those people wouldn't be touched by Sanders' tax increases. He wants to increase taxes on wealthy people. For that free college program, for example. You know who he wants to tax? Wall Street speculators. He wants to tax them to pay for free education for everyone. Donald Trump's plan himself goes after hedge fund guys on Wall Street. I don't, there you go. I mean, seriously. Bernie Sanders also wants to tax multinational corporations to actually pay for our infrastructure. None of this means taxing a middle class or poor person at 90%. That's a lie. It's a flat out ridiculous lie. It's bullshit. Now, when it comes to how much money Bernie Sanders is going to spend, now there was that article about his universal health care plan that supposedly costs $15 trillion and totally put America $18 trillion in the hole. Well, that plan actually does save money in the long run. Now, this was reported by a study done by Gerald Friedman, who actually calculated the cost of Bernie Sanders' single-payer health care plan that the Wall Street Journal, of course, the Wall Street Journal, went and took out of context and said, Bernie Sanders is going to spend $18 trillion of your money to give free shit to everybody. Bullshit. In an open letter, Friedman actually explains. The Wall Street Journal article correctly puts the additional federal spending on health care under H.R. 676, which is Bernie Sanders' single-payer health plan, at $15 trillion over 10 years. It neglects to add, however, that by spending these vast sums, we would as a country save nearly $5 trillion over 10 years and reduced administrative waste, lower pharmaceutical and device prices, and by lowering the rate of medical inflation. The financial savings will be felt by businesses and by state and local governments who would no longer be paying for health insurance for their employees. That means, Donald Trump, you would no longer have to pay for health care for your own employees. Wouldn't that be a good thing? I mean, you don't have to pay for it directly, but some of it would come out of your taxes. But I guess he doesn't even like that idea. Now, this continues, and by retirees and working Americans who would no longer have to pay for their health insurance or for co-payments and deductibles. Beyond these financial savings, H.R. 676 would also save thousands of lives a year by expanding access to health care for the uninsured and underinsured. Now, that's, of course, assuming that they actually give a fuck about human lives. That they actually care, that Donald Trump or any of his supporters actually fucking care about saving human beings. Something tells me that they don't. But back to Bernie Sanders. He also wants a progressive tax system, where the richer you are, the more you pay. Kind of like the system that we had before money in politics allowed for the wealthy to buy off our politicians and start carving out massive loopholes and giving themselves subsidies by buying politicians through campaign donations, through bribery. All in all, Sanders isn't coming after your money. He's coming after Donald Trump's money. And of course, Donald Trump ain't happy. And that's why he's on the attack. Now, this is my favorite part. This comes afterwards. When asked to comment, Sanders' campaign spokesman, Michael Briggs, talked to ABC News and said, quote, "If we weighed in every time Donald Trump said something stupid, we wouldn't have time to do anything else." Oh, man. It just looks like Trump got burned.